Welcome back to DBL. Could you forgive a friend's betrayal? It's a question Chester Hollman has spent nearly 3 decades debating. In today's Freedom Files, wrongfully convicted, Tory and Lindsey speak with Chester about the lies that landed him in prison.
It's the summer of 1991, and 21-year-old Chester Hollman is loving life. On the night of August 20th, Chester is hanging out with his neighbor, Deirdre Jones.
I had just got my first vacation, so I was excited about that, looking forward to the week. And I said, look, let's not stay in, let's just go down Southwest Philadelphia and visit a friend.
They jump in his roommate's rented white Chevy Blazer and start driving. Within minutes, Chester is pulled over by 2 police cars.
The car that was on my left, he pulled in front of us, and they got out with guns drawn.
A 24-year-old college student is dead, and there is one connection between Chester and the murder. Witnesses say the shooter is in a white SUV with a partial license plate similar to the one Chester is driving. Both Chester and Deirdre are taken in for questioning.
And a detective came in, and he punched me dead in the mouth, and he said, "You like killing people in our city." And they just walked out.
While Chester maintains his innocence, Deirdre tells a very different story and makes a deal.
Maybe days later, that she had been released, but she had made a statement implicating us in this crime.
Deirdre takes the stand, saying she waited in the SUV while Chester and another man committed the crime. Chester's family is devastated.
I just try to be strong for my parents.
8 eyewitnesses take the stand. However, there is only one who identifies Chester.
It's not about truth or innocence, it's about who can tell the better story. Right now, they have the better story.
The jury convicts Chester of second-degree murder and robbery. He is sentenced to life without parole.
But I just tried to not let the anger consume me. Not that I'm not angry, but I just couldn't allow that to surface and, change who I am.
In 2001, 10 years after the murder, the witness who had identified Chester recants his trial testimony, saying he only identified Chester because of threats by the police. Then, 4 years later, Deirdre comes forward.
This is her opportunity, to do the right thing and tell the truth. And that's when I learned, what the police did to her.
She admits that she made up the story after police refused her requests for a lawyer and even threatened to charge her for the crime.
I couldn't let them win twice. I think if I would have been, started hating Deirdre and the system and so forth, I know I would have lost myself.
It's 2018, and Chester's attorney takes his case before a new district attorney.
He said that she was going to look into it. She said if there was anything there, that she was going to make it right.
They find proof that a former DA hid the lengthy criminal record of their star witness before trial. Attorneys also uncover hidden evidence that points to a credible suspect. On July 15th, 2019, after 28 years, he is released from prison.
Chester, welcome to DBL. Now, you've said you worked really hard to not let prison change you. And I was wondering if you could get really specific. What did you do to keep your head straight in there?
My focus was, at the time, was focusing on this case and fighting the lies that had been told against me. So that was my main focus, and, not getting caught up in the jailhouse life and what goes on in there.
Smart.
It's insane that your former friend Deirdre implicated you in this crime, and it was her testimony that actually sent you to prison. So now that you're free, what would you say to her, if anything?
I mean, it's been a long time. This is close to 30 years ago. And there's been opportunities for me to speak to her since I've been home. I haven't taken advantage of it. It's difficult. My mom, passed away in this process, and my grandparents, all because of, she didn't have the fortitude to, stand up and just tell the truth. So at this point, I can say today that, there's no ill feelings having learned what she went through. But at the time when you're going through it, you're just wondering, how can you do this? Knowing that I'm ready, spend the rest of my life in prison.
So would you say you forgave her?
I wouldn't say I forgave her. I just say I understand.
Yeah.
That night that we were pulled over and arrested, I can always attest to what I went through in that interrogation room. And Deirdre was a frail, timid, shy person. So I can only imagine what they put her through in the other room. Like I don't want to say I'm necessarily forgiven, because a lot have been lost in my life. But at the same time, I can say I understand. I have no ill feelings towards her at this point. it's just like, let me go this way, you go that way, and and that's where I'm at with it.
I mean, you might not have ill feelings. I'm just going to interrupt here and I do. Like I have such a hard time moving on from that. So you're my role model in moving on. I'm just saying I harbor things and I can't imagine how positive you must be to move on. So bravo. Sorry to interrupt.
No, that's the same way we're always
saying that.
We don't know how
Chester.
people are able to move forward past some of these experiences.
In 2020, the city of Philadelphia paid you $9.8 million for your time served. Now, in your opinion, you have the floor here, is that price tag enough for the 28 years you lost behind bars for you?
I mean, that was one of the things that I had wrestled with, with my attorneys, and that was a big thing for me in terms of, how much was it actually worth to accept, I guess, because I felt like it was putting a value on my life, whether it was 9.8 million or 30 million. Am I saying, by me agreeing to this, is this what I'm saying my life is worth? And I struggled with that, and initially when I first came out, it wasn't even about the money. It was just about clearing my name, and my lawyers just basically said that this is the process of how it goes. Once you've been exonerated, this is the only recourse that we have is to receive compensation. So we followed through that course of action, and we ended up at this number. And like I said, is it enough for me? I mean, it's more than enough for me. But to say that's the value of my life, that's what I equate it to.
That's hard to say.
The value of my life.
Yeah.
And
dignity, right? The value of your dignity. My God, thank you for being here.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Wow. We'll be right back.